All right, the Indianapolis Colts went to Cleveland to show what they could do, and they couldn't do it. We both were wrong. We both made the Colts, given 1.5 a best bet. What the hell were we thinking? I wish I hadn't listened to you, although I already was going to take the Colts even before I heard you. But when you started talking about the Colts, it made me feel even better about it. Didn't work out. How did the Cleveland Browns, Chris, put up 32 points on the defense that we were calling the best in the NFL going into last weekend?
Well, I think that like a little like we talked with Gruden, Stefanski is the one that I look at just go, wow, like what an unbelievable job. I mean, you're right. This is one of the surprises of the weekend to me. Yeah, we had 3 best bets. This is the one I felt most confident about, and this is the only one I lost. But I think Stefanski deserves a lot of the credit right off the bat with how he manages the game. Again, playing through the run. And the big thing is early on, it was a lot of misdirections. I mean, it was everything. And it was like fake reverse, tight end screens, boots, reverses, everything like that. All the things you want to do to slow down a really awesome, aggressive front seven. So they never let the Colts D-line ruin the game like they've done just about in every game they played this year. Stefanski didn't let that happen. And I really looked at it as like the Browns owe with what they did in the first half and getting that 20-10 lead was really just controlling the clock, doing the right thing that way, and then the defense took over in the second half, which was really cool as well. It was complimentary football at its finest, and I think the Colts did some things that I would say are a little stupid, but you got to like what the Browns did and how they looked overall.
Yeah, and, Baker Mayfield is just such a different quarterback when he doesn't have pressure. And you could say that for most quarterbacks except Patrick Mahomes, but when they can just run that offense,
yes.
When Mayfield doesn't have a guy chasing him around, because he's caught in between the Mahomes and Kirk Cousins mobility spectrum.
Yeah,
he's right in the middle.
Right.
We see him do some great things when he can get out on the edge and run the bootleg, and when he doesn't have a guy tracking him down, he can wait and he can find a guy down the field. Now, he still did some dumb things in the second half.
Yes,
but
he did.
As he goes, the Browns are going to go. And for as bad as he was week 1, he's been so much better during this 4-game winning streak. And that really stands out to me. There's a confidence. There's an extra pop to the offense when he has time to set up and work. When he doesn't, it's all very different.
Yeah, it does. Again, that's where I give Stefanski a lot of credit. Hey, a guy that I was critical of when they hired, I know. I mean, he has impressed me with how he knows how to manage the big picture of the football game, and he's really kind of managing Baker Mayfield right now. You can't trust Baker Mayfield just to let it go and let it fly. He can't. I mean, you saw, like you just said, in the second half, hey, both those interceptions were horrible. I mean, they were horrible. The first one down the middle with the lead you have, the Bobby Okereke, like, I don't know, you have a lead, you're in control of the game. It was a bad decision and a horrible throw. And then the other one, I know he got hit as he was throwing the ball, but again, it just, to me, he had no feel that the guy was coming around the edge and anything like that. So Stefanski, I think, is really kind of like, whoa, Baker's got talent. He's a little loose. I don't know if I could trust him all the time. We're going to run the ball, reverse passes, do all those type of things, and try to make the game simple for Baker until maybe he gets his feet underneath him in this offense and everything that way. But Stefanski staying patient with the run and getting them in third and manageable, Mike, that was the biggest thing to me. Because when the Colts get you in an obvious pass down and it's third and long, you're done. Their D-line is going to get to the quarterback and cause a play. And they really never did that all game long the other day. It was always 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, get the ball out of the hand quick. They never got to impose their physicality on the game like they have in the other games.
Well, I kept waiting to see DeForest Buckner, that giant that they acquired in a trade from the 49ers, flash through the line, and Joel Bitonio was pushing him back far more often than not. So sometimes you just get neutralized and you can't do the things that you do against other teams. Odell Beckham Jr., he almost had a Taysom Hill type of a day where he had running, passing, and throwing, or running, receiving, and throwing, He threw a pass for 18 yards. 5 catches for 58, targeted 9 times. They only gave him the ball once. He lost a yard. Stefanski told me last week he needs to get the ball in Beckham's hands early. I almost feel like there already was the reaction from the Colts, and it opened up other opportunities
100%.
Offensively, right?
100%. It was oh crap, that guy's really good. we got to make sure we're all over him after what we saw him do to Dallas last week, and it did. I agreed. He was the decoy this week. He was. I mean, he got the reverse and threw it this week, right? Because you figure, oh, he's going to run. We got to get all over that. Hits the big completion to Jarvis Landry. Some of Jarvis Landry's big catches down the field. He was open because, Odell had all 3 rockets up his butt on full go, steam ahead, and they were running down the field trying to worry about him. So that was big. Just the fact that, they're still – he's very involved in the game plan. The ball just didn't go his way as much the other way. But I think those are the kind of games like a receiver can still feel good because he knows plays were called for him and the intent was there to get him the ball, but it still helped out the offense. And I think that's the kind of game like Odell, they win. He'll be able to live with that all day. Any diva receiver, I think, could live with that for the most part.
I don't know how you draw the line between 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 3 rockets. What's the most rockets you've ever
I think 3 is all I got. Tyreek Hill, Odell. There's a few guys in football that might have 3 up. Henry Ruggs might have 3 up there. Then the next level down is 2 and so on. So we'll see.
All right.
But hey, the Colts offense. Do you want to hit on that a little bit?
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. We're
Okay.
gonna hear Frank Reich talking about Phillip Rivers because all it takes is one bad game. And there are questions about whether or not Phillip Rivers should still be the quarterback. Here's the head coach of the Colts.
Has there been any consideration to sitting Phillip and going to Jacoby?
No, no consideration for that. Phillip is our quarterback.
And that's that. But just the fact that the question comes up, Phillip Rivers is going to be aware of that. What kind of an impact does it have on him? And look, he didn't look great week 1 against the Jaguars. They lost that game for a reason. They put 3 good games together. He didn't make any glaring mistakes, but that's the thing with Phillip Rivers. There's just always that possibility. It's always just kind of lingering. The pick 6 that Ronnie Harrison, and he didn't even have to jump the route. The route jumped him. Like, he was just kind of hanging around. Did you see? It's not like he read it. It's just like, oh, here I am. Oh, there's the football. I'll just grab it and run the other way with it. It wasn't a spectacular athletic play. It wasn't some great anticipation born of film study. It was just, I'm standing here. There's the football. I'll take it.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, Phillip Rivers, it's a rookie mistake. Again, and it's just unfortunate that way. But, it's like a golden rule. Like, you always hear, like, don't throw across your body. Don't throw the ball late in the flat. He threw it blind and late in the flat. He was looking downfield. It was man-to-man coverage. He got pressure, and he just threw it thinking, there's my safe throw. He should be open, and let's see what happens. And Harrison was there. Makes the catch, and that was that. But, that to me was the bigger part of the game all in all. To me, that like where we just talked about Stefanski and Gruden and how they managed the game, right, and really did it to help their quarterbacks and do those things. This is one game where, Frank Reich, who I think is an awesome offensive game plan designer, I did not agree with the approach. I just did not. Too much was put on Phillip Rivers from the get-go. He's not that guy anymore. Phillip Rivers, what we saw when they won the 3 games prior to that was, he's kind of game managing. Like, make a few throws. Our defense is awesome. Get us in the right plays. We're going to run the football and go from there. They won 3 games in a row. This game, they came out with like a pass-first approach, which I didn't really understand with that offensive line and everything they do there. And I think that's very risky with Phillip Rivers and the way he plays right now. Added to the fact that the best thing the Browns got going for them is they got a front 4 that's the real deal. They can get after the quarterback when you throw the ball. I'd want to run on them before I'd want to throw on them. And I think they got kind of caught in that trap there a little on Sunday too.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, it's just amazing how one game causes it to change so dramatically how we feel about one team or 2. I feel a lot differently about the Colts.
Yes.
And man, do I feel differently about the Cleveland Browns.
I'm with you.
And Chris, look, when I'm so used to Browns and Steelers and always leaning Steelers. Now, I remember a time in 1989, and some Browns fans may remember this, and some Steelers fans may try to forget it. 51-0 week 1, the Browns beat the Steelers.
Whoa.
But it's typically always Steelers. The Steelers are 4-0 for the first time since 1979. but they have yet to have an overpowering win. They have yet to have a signature win. They have yet to beat a good team, right? They've beaten the Eagles, the Broncos, the Texans, the Giants. This Browns team is going to give them everything they can handle. It is a hell of a game coming up on Sunday. And I said last week, we're going to learn a lot about the Browns the next two games, Colts-Steelers. Well, we learned a lot against the Colts, and I have a feeling we're going to learn a lot more against the Steelers. And it's going to be, we got 2 days to him and haw about our picks, but man, this Browns team, I believe, but like you said yesterday, believe in believe land.
Yeah.
Because something's going on there, and you look at the schedule, 10 or 11 wins is very, very possible. And if they get past the Steelers, maybe 12 wins.
Yeah, no, I mean, the talent's there. It is. You know, is there a little inexperience here and there? But, like, when you look at just the basic principles of, like, good football, you go, O-line, run game, pretty damn good. D-line, Mike, I mean, just it's what we talk about the last 3 years we're talking about. Here's another D-line that can get to the quarterback without blitzing. It's just a huge advantage this day and age in the NFL. So from that standpoint, they got some things there, let alone some of the other playmakers we know that you go, whoa, they could be something. But I agree with you. Last week really changed my thought of the Browns. It really did. Like, it's just made me go, okay, yeah, this isn't like fluke and crappy teams they've played and, just caught them right on the right Sunday. That was the kind of game I needed, like physical, tough game against a really good defense. It wasn't going to be about flashy big plays and all of those type of things. And they kind of gutted out the win with some big defensive plays and just some tough, hard-nosed offensive style of football, and I got to give them credit. Stefanski, Joe Woods on defense, everything's going good.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.